So I think we're live. I think we're live. I don't think they can hear my audio. Hang on.
Yogi? I think things are going on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but apparently they might not hear us.
I think they can hear him.
You think they can hear us now?
Yeah, because I just added another audio.
They can only hear Chris, so you go.
Typically,
Chris,
you
go.
got to do an audio channel for your desktop audio, and then an audio channel for your audio.
My headset, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, your microphone and your desktop audio. Yep.
Cool. What's up?
We're good.
But David Ball wants to know if Mario's not with PBT anymore.
Oh, no, Mario's a friend. He's got his own channel. Never.
He's our baby. We sprouted that baby.
I think. I mean, he had a channel before we knew anything about him, but so it's been a while. Good to see you guys. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
You too.
Hey, Bryn. What did your hat say?
This is 13 Stripes Brewery. It's actually...
Oh, it's a beer snob hat.
The beer snob hat, yeah. It is. Keith, you want to tell us what you did just before you came on today?
No, it's all right.
Let's see your hands.
Please, there you go.
Keith is a farmer. Yeah.
I got to do the same thing to a pig next week, unfortunately.
Oh, you better clear that up now.
Yeah. So before I came on, I had to actually ban one of my goats. That's a term for castration, unfortunately. If you don't, they get upset, and then when they get all, if you don't ban them, if they're not castrated, when it comes time for females to be in the heat, they literally pee all over themselves and just go nuts.
Huh.
You have to separate them. They're absolutely wild.
So you guys having Rocky Mountain oysters tonight? What do they call those in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Same thing.
Mike Robinson is Mike Robinson exclamation point.
Oh,
it is
nice.
Mike Robinson.
Oh, we changed that, huh?
I put an exclamation mark.
Should do caps, all caps for his name. All right. So was Hawkins' thing? Was that last night or is it tomorrow night?
It's tomorrow. It was supposed to be
tomorrow,
today, but
yeah.
we kind of.
Oh, it was supposed to be today?
Yeah. But we didn't want to compete, so we decided to let him.
Oh, our live stream was supposed to be tomorrow.
But
we made it today because his thing is tomorrow.
No, it's the other way around.
Other way.
Oh, so we're like, we're not budging.
We kicked him out.
You gotta change your day. I feel like a jerk.
No,
Don't worry about it.
We worked it out. It's all good.
That's good, because I wasn't going to be able to make it till real late tomorrow.
Yeah. And Richard's like, oh, I can be there at 9. And he forgot he's a Central Time, so it's 9 Central Time.
9 Tommy
For
time.
Rich. Oh, man. Well,
Things
all right. Well, it's good to see you guys. We'll talk to you later.
What do you got going behind you, Chris?
I'm trying my damnedest to program a BMW. It's just not. It's not going well.
Today's not a good day for that.
It really isn't. I got ISTA dead on 2 computers. It's dead and not recoverable. Like it is like not even trying anymore. It won't even uninstall.
Send me the TeamViewer logins. I'll fix it.
Well, right now I'm just trying launch because I think I can get that to go through.
Yeah, trying to do a single module.
Yeah, I just got to do a telematics module.
Okay.
I'm crossing my fingers.
Just something on the most. No big deal.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No, this one's Ethernet. We're okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got an electronic power steering module due tomorrow, which means, and it's a F chassis. Which
I did
means
it.
that,
No, I did one 2 weeks ago on an M4. It
Oh, the
goes through
FCA codes are back?
No problems. No, you don't even need it. Just fucking code the damn thing.
Did you try your
Code
eye
it and do
scan?
the learn.
Chris?
Eye scan? Fuck that.
That's what
Use
Adrian
the launch.
said.
He's like, I'd rather use the real Chinese.
Yeah. Well, I use the less stolen stuff.
So the eye scan?
I was gonna say.
More stolen. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's just see what happens. What's the worst that happens? It starts on fire.
Boys.
It'll be fun. You guys recording?
You're recording.
This is
going to
be recording. This is gonna be the next Brian Collada fire video.
Do you have a bucket of water nearby?
But this time we get to see Chris run around like crazy. It'll be funny.
So I've been to Chris's shop. I stopped in Chris's shop, what was that, a month ago?
About a month ago, yeah.
Looks nice.
Yeah. It's very nice. It is.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of diamond plate all over, like around the door frames.
All of the diamond plate. Yeah, all of the diamond plate.
Has all of the diamond plates.
It's diamond plate around the entire shop.
Does your
There are
camera?
thousands of dollars of diamond plate around that shop.
It's great for the radar. It bounces right off.
He does have a wall of radar reflecting foam, so
2 of them. I have 2 walls of that.
yeah.
So let me see here. What am I doing here? Do not that one. Not that one.
Chris, what kind of battery maintainer is that?
Blue.
Oh, that's a
That's what
tornado.
I've never seen it before, so I was like, what is
No,
that?
Is that the
an-
tornado?
No, it's an ATEC.
Oh, okay.
It's blue.
It's blue.
It's a blue battery maintainer. Let me see here. Not that one. No, I gotta do the central module. Where is the telematics module?
You don't use jumper cables?
It's already on there.
Need
Don't worry.
a camera pointed at your
Yeah, nobody looked.
glary screen. For your
Nobody
launch.
That was for Isaac if he's watching.
Funny.
Fuck, it's not
Mike
here. I don't think it's here.
Robinson.
What's up, Mike?
I just looked
not
over
much.
at the Facebook
Mike, can we
stream
can we
and saw
can we
it.
see the top of your head?
Let's see your head. Come on, man.
See the top of your head?
Oh, snap.
There he
There
is.
it is.
Oh no, am I missing him? There
That's
he
a
is.
weird view. Let's not do that.
Always got this ceiling behind him. I don't
Mike,
know.
stop
Is he
moving-
that
stop
tall?
moving your
I don't
arm. What are
remember
you doing
being
with
that
your
tall.
hand?
What?
What are you doing with your hand, Mike?
I'm cleaning up a dog mess.
Oh boy.
Mike Robinson's mess?
Well, I gotta do FCD. Let's do that one. Well, shit.
I was like, let's mute him. That's kind of loud.
Hey, wake up.
Tommy, what's up, man? Quiet.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, no,
Voice
no
is
sound,
not
Tommy.
coming through.
He's like, oh man.
Male
Doing-
burger.
Ah, there it
Yeah.
is.
There you
You doing
are.
some casting, Tommy?
Yep.
I just now noticed.
Who's next?
Did you wipe?
Oh,
Yeah.
funny.
Shit. Keith, you're gonna have to fix this for me. Don't want to work.
No worky.
Yeah, which computer do you want to fix?
Probably the
I
one
think-
you're on. What are you using, an ICOM?
Yeah.
Okay.
The coding
Message
takes a
me.
long time. Whether to continue.
Weather the storm.
I'm thinking no.
Yeah. I think that's tomorrow morning.
No, I'm gonna be here till about two or 3.
We just got $5. Oh yeah.
That's tomorrow morning. 2 or 3 tonight. 2
Yeah,
or 3 is tomorrow
I mean,
morning.
I just picked up a futon and a big ass beanbag chair. I'm
Oh,
sleeping here
nice.
tonight.
Wait. We got $5.99. Thanks, Keith.
Thanks, Dean.
One day we'll get that extra
I
penny.
think it's Dale Nelson.
Yeah, here you go, Dale.
Dale.
You're Dale. For the record, your post. I thought I was having a stroke reading that. Thanks a lot.
Perkins, team viewer incoming.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Can you fix it for me?
We're gonna
Well, only if he shares a screen.
I don't know about that part.
The password's on my sticky notes. Have fun.
That looks like you get a different key machine now, Keith. I know that's a filter there behind you, but what's that orange lidded? Looks like a cooler with a. There it is.
That?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
beer cooler.
it's a Chinesium high security cutter.
Oh,
Tracer.
okay.
Which one?
Easy.
The
Aren't all of
Dufu.
That one? How is it?
Dufu. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's an HPC SpeedX.
But is it it's automatic or it's just a?
They're
just a
both
duplicator?
manual.
Oh, manual.
Manual, you just trace.
I have a
You
Silka
hold on
Flash.
for dear life.
I have a Silka Flash for side cuts. I love that thing,
Ooh, so cool. Nice.
especially for those GM worn out B111s.
Oh shoot, man.
A little more zippy.
I eyeball them and then type in the manual bidding and then cut them and then go down from there if I have to.
Yeah.
So we got some events coming up to talk about, right? Anybody got like a website ready? ASTE?
Oh, did you want us to do that?
Yeah, I thought we'd actually
We should
Do
mention-
things?
do
Are we
things.
marking time till Rich gets here?
No.
No.
Rich is our
I don't want to. I don't
anchorman.
want to.
You don't want to what?
What?
I don't want to be in North Carolina though. It smells and it scares me.
Yeah, good barbecue.
But your lady friend's there, man.
Hey, hey now.
Dennis Wall would like to know what events are in North Carolina and Cary, like right around the corner from him this weekend or next
Only
weekend.
one of the best training events.
It better not be this weekend.
Is it next
Oh,
weekend? Dude,
God.
I don't even. What day
Is
is
your
it? What day is
presentation's
it?
not even done, Keith?
I don't want to talk about it.
Do you want one of mine? Because that always goes over so well.
Now they added another one for me, so
Yeah. Are you at the research center for both sessions?
for 2 of the sessions, and they added a third one where I'll be back at the host hotel.
What's the third one?
Nice.
I don't remember. I'm doing a keys and mobilizer class. I'm doing Asian advanced programming class at the research center.
Oh,
so
you're
y'all
doing
hands-on.
electrical. The other one's electrical.
Ah, that's right. Same one I'm teaching at SEMA. Same class, but less time at North Carolina.
At SEMA.
I believe.
Well, really? How long is the
Yeah.
class in Vegas?
2 hours and 45 minutes or
Oh,
something.
I was gonna say they have little short classes out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do that in my sleep. I could curse a lot during that class.
Yeah.
I could do all the cursing.
We do. We know. We know.
Tommy, I'm only using your word.
The
Me.
drinking game.
So I'm at the website, and it looks like they haven't added any info.
What?
So what the fuck?
Yeah, y'all definitely have to do a better job on the website next year.
No, the thing is it's a different website or something.
Oh.
Oh.
So it's confusing in that way.
Huh. Wonder what I have on our website.
Just trust us. Just show up. Don't even worry about it.
It's gonna
Don't
be.
register. Just
There's
kind of
gonna
hang
be
out.
there's gonna be things there. Stuff's gonna happen. You don't even know. You don't even know.
That was intense.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long couple days.
I just signed up twice.
Oh no. Your
Fine, tell her
BMWs
twice.
with your Jaguar. That's not good.
What? No, don't take. Oh, fuck. Well, fuck.
Do what?
His BMW partition is with his Jaguar partition.
Well,
which is
shit.
Not good.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Let's get out
Yes,
of there.
sir.
I need that because I use that all the time. Let's switch. Hey, you're not taking it out, are you? Let me get out of there. Let me open up another one. Sorry, guys. Carry on.
Did you find a website to share? Anybody?
Yeah, so
You pull
I
it up.
stumbled upon it.
2 girls, 1 cup.
That's the one. Hold on.
Nice.
Well, that was shot in your living room right there, Tommy.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Still got that cup.
Still
That's a good
smells.
cup. I'm feeling hungry for ice cream right now.
All right. So It is September 29th to October 1st.
So it's
in 14 days for me to write.
Dang, 14
1.5
days, 14 hours,
classes.
43 minutes, and 58 seconds.
They should delete the old website because that's
Yeah,
frustrating.
it's because they're now Astra or something is with them also, or they.
They're part of
I
some
don't-
tire association now.
Yeah, something like that. So, looks like if we start with Thursday, introduction to Tesla. Aaron Jones is a smart cookie.
Hey, I know that
Recommend
class.
one. Yeah. All the models, sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, you got Carolyn.
Carolyn teaching EV.
Look at
class, too.
Isaac there, all
That class
dolled
is full.
Oh, like he's taking a cholesterol medication.
Daryl Colleran.
Good, they're like
teaching
all hybrid EV stuff so far.
a Napa class. Mission system failure diagnosis from the garage gurus. Got Seth and Justin doing a PicoScope 7 for BMW Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Good stuff.
Sales
Sweet.
Success Workshop with Cecil.
Cecil will scare you into doing business right.
Yeah.
Just
Honestly.
looking at you with a scold.
Yeah. While Kent twiddles his mustache. Fixes it.
Sweet.
Buying, selling, understanding your business. Amazing women in auto care. Women's dinner. That's that. And there's a pre-party at the Rally Sports Bar.
Oh, right.
That's
By
good.
shop
What's Friday doing?
Let's do Friday.
Oh, Jim Morton, our boy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
back.
He's
The legend's
back.
back.
It's a Astra sponsored class. Stekla.
What is this streamlined approach to diagnostic dilemmas? Is that this rebranded fuel trim class that he does?
He will be removed from the school.
Understanding physics. No. Looks like it's a overall thought process kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Hobbs doing a Delphi plug-in power tips. Delphi's plug-in power tips.
Nice.
Plug-in hybrid and EVs.
Just the
Chris
tips.
Cotton, owner of AutoFix. Okay, diagnosed a healthier auto business. Handling the phone shopper. Mylan's a cool guy. I talked to him for a little bit. One of my customers is one of the women in the Amazing Women in Auto Care. She's like the lady that's in charge right now or something. And Mylan does hosts a lot of classes down here in Oklahoma.
Nice.
Is it down here in Oklahoma or in the middle of here?
It's over here.
It's in the middle of here.
Could be
It's
up.
over here.
It's just here.
Could be
Smack
us.
dab
or-
in the friggin' center.
I know
How to
Mylan
use
got in
your
a
lab scope.
real bad motorcycle accident years ago. Like, almost
Oh, yeah.
died, apparently, yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, he's a super nice guy. I talked to him a little bit at what's that one thing at that one place where we were that one time?
Yeah,
To do the thing.
yep, that was it.
Yeah, Vision. How to use your lab scope. That's a Garage Gurus. Got process and procedure with Kent, Cecil's son. Unfortunately, he's probably going to be called Cecil's son for a long time. Which
But he definitely has-
because Cecil worked at his dad's shop for a long time.
Cecil worked at Kent's dad's shop.
No, Cecil worked at his own dad's shop.
Yeah,
Uh,
he
but-
was
but
a
also what
service
you said.
advisor, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Cecil worked for ATI, Automotive Training Institute, before he went off on his own. if I'm not
Oh, yeah?
mistaken.
Path from Chief Everything Officer to Chief Executive with Rick White. Got some Jimmy Lee stuff. Turning customers into raving fans. Every time I
Craving?
see Jimmy,
Wait,
I
who's that
want-
guy?
I want
Go,
like
go.
a Mountain Dew and a surfboard. I don't know why. Wheel alignment and advanced driver assistance system from a Hunter guy. I
Oh,
think I got a pretty good idea how that class will go.
Dum-dum-dum.
Conquering data network issues, parts 1 and 2, the whole class. It's a whole day.
oh, look
with-
at. They don't have
First
my
of
name
all,
on there.
for Rich looks that picture's what 20 years old.
That's my favorite picture. he
I love the flavor saver. I'm
only,
a big
he
fan
only
of
looks
flavor
like
saver.
65 in that picture. It's crazy.
So Rich asked me if I would help him with, teach the class, more or less just kind of carry his bags, and I said only if you make sure they put my name and face on there. And look.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And Jim Morton doing analyzing before, during, and after combustion chamber, utilizing the ignition waveform of the 5 gases, 5
Oh.
exhausts.
Okay, auction guy, take it down a notch.
Speaking of 5 gas,
Actually, I'd take it up a notch. I'm looking forward to it. Let's hear it.
Yeah, confident selling with Mylan. Delphi's Top Fuel Diagnostic.
Well, we got Dave Hobbs and Top Fuel Dave.
And I get a day off.
Diagnosis, suspension, and steering systems from A to Z with Mark Isaac, another garage guru guy. Dipping your toes into Tesla with
Yeah.
Seth.
That's gross.
He said, ew.
Who's Tesla?
Brett Kinn's father, how to build an employee training academy for your company. Shot monkey. Increasing your car count by whoever they can figure out to get it to talk about.
Whoever decides to come in and just talk.
Yeah.
Hey,
Brian,
Keith,
you got something?
look how
Keith,
clean
I'm-
shaven you are in that picture. Look at this. Look at that.
What?
That's the Keith I remember. Look how clean shaven you were. I mean,
He's not
trim.
shit.
Look at the fucking hair.
I'll
It's high
probably
and tight.
trim it eventually.
High and tight. Look at that thing.
Ken, well, that's at the training center. The city training center.
So-
Ride Control Master Class with John McCullum.
Ride the Lightning with John McCullum.
And the Ultimate Marketing Roadmap. Kerry Lynn. That means I'm doing 2 on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Saturday's Asian reprogramming problems and solutions. This is not really like a structured class when it comes to like PowerPoints or anything really. It's mainly just we're going to do a whole bunch of programming on all the crazy. Basically, we're just going to do Nissan the entire time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. It's Asian programming problems and solutions.
You'll
it's like,
do.
here's how you get your. This is how you fix your Toyota, Chris, and then
Fuck you. I was having a bad day.
he was having a bad day, but I had your back. I got you.
Yeah,
We got you fixed.
I was having a bad day.
Hey, that is a common thing though, so I'll put that into class.
Yeah, put that into class.
Becoming a talent magnet with Rick White.
You're gonna rename the class. Learn from Chris Martino's bad days.
Yeah, learn from my fuck ups.
His was
And-
just he had to clear
and
his
other-
cache.
and other
Otherwise,
reasons to delete your browsing history.
yeah. Customer loyalty starting with know, like, and trust. That's Kim and Brian Walker, and I haven't met them before, but they seem like a nice guy. Diagnosing variable valve timing issues. Some more garage gurus. They seem to like double team every class.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, don't wreck the bus. BMW bus system
Oh,
diagnostics.
snap.
Justin Morgan.
Justin Morgan.
Mhm. Look at this. Ross Coquette with the CTI.
Oh snap! I
Learning to
know.
lead class full. I haven't seen Ross do some CTI stuff in a bit.
That's gonna say I didn't even know he still taught with CTI.
I don't think he did. I think he does now.
Well, he used to. He's
I
the
know.
president of
Yeah.
Mid Atlantic Auto Care Alliance or whatever. I didn't know he was still teaching.
Master the art of electrical fault diagnosis.
Voltage drop.
Yeah. Napa light duty diesel intro course with Duane Throckmorton.
First of all, let's stop. That is a hell of a last
I was
name.
gonna say
I'm
that's,
we need to
that
all
needs-
start over.
that
Throckmorton.
needs-
Look at that look. He looks like
Rock.
he's saying. He looks like he just said his last name.
No, he's like
Oh,
he just
boy.
did it. He introduced himself and say something.
Protecting your company, identifying, predicting fraud, embezzlement, and theft with Hunt Demarest. Art of advising DVI, final follow.
Hey,
That's
look,
old
Prince
Craig
William's
and Chris.
teaching a class.
Every Saturday.
Look, it's Prince William.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Toyota missions and drivability with old Peach.
Oh,
Wait,
We
quick-
got
look there.
advanced.
wait, go back.
Secure.
What's
What?
what's PJ's hair look like? Did he
Yeah.
did he do his hair? Oh, he shaved.
Oh yeah, he has far less hair now.
We all do from doing this.
Did he finally? I don't know about y'all, man. I ain't bald. Speak for yourself. That must be all the chicken nuggets y'all eat.
So advanced
Tommy, I
security
mean a lot of
system keys
chorizo.
and locksmithing with
Aye.
Matthew Scundridge. ASC A4 test prep for steering and suspension. Another Garage Gurus. Advanced application of fundamental electrical theory.
Fundamental.
Fundamental. That is basic.
And
electrical
wait a minute, wait a
class
minute.
is.
Advanced
Sexy name.
application of fundamental.
Electrical theory.
Advanced
Man, that
basic.
is if that's not you playing with some wording to get some butts
Yeah.
and seats. I don't
That
know
is
what
me
it is.
sexing it up. That is sexing up how to do what the f does your voltmeter do, and your scope, and how to use that with a test light to actually fix cars.
If your
Sure.
class doesn't have a power probe in it, I'm walking out.
It does have a power probe,
All right.
including page 13 of the service manual.
Sweet.
Become great on the phone with whoever they can get to fill the
whoever
spot.
decides to go in.
Yeah, coaching and counseling for success. Another Rick White. Rick White's teaching all the classes.
Good Lord, how many more classes are there? Are we
There
done
are a
with
lot of
classes?
classes now.
Almost.
Yeah. Well, we got
HVAC diagnostics.
Throckenheimer's coming back though. Throckenheimer.
Yeah. Dwayne Throckmorton. Napa Start Stock
Throckenheimer.
Technology. Darren Barney from Elite doing the best kept secrets of building and keeping a dream team.
Oh.
It's called Just Keep Michael Jordan and Throw the Millions at him.
Thank you,
Understanding the
Francisco Diaz. We
Oh, I
appreciate
can't
that.
see
$5.
what's going on. Understanding the marketing life cycle with Tony Mercury. Tony Mercury, that's a cool name.
Wait a minute. Should we have anybody want to send Hawken a link so he can come on and talk about his tomorrow thing?
Every time I want to
Do
say
that.
his name, I feel like Hawking a loogie.
I got one more. We got understanding, connecting, and engaging with Gen Z from Sarah Fraser.
Oh boy.
Sarah Fraser.
Good luck
Does that,
understanding that
do
one.
you have to bring a vape to class?
Bring
You
what?
have to bring a Gen Z person with you. Yes.
Oh, Gen Z.
Oh. Yeah. So that is them. 52
a lot of
sessions.
stuff. That's a lot, man. for 3 days.
52
Pretty good.
sessions.
I remember going to the first AST. That was very
Sleeping
intimate.
in the woods, being scared.
Hey.
As soon as it
I
got
was
quiet,
not
Tommy
scared.
was worried.
I was unsettled. I almost put some gunshot sounds in my phone so I can sleep.
Well, that's what happens when you snore.
True.
She said.
I know, because I slept in the room next to you.
I don't have
Hey.
a case study, but I have a really
Hey.
cool waveform.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
Let's see it. I like waveforms.
The best was when I was constipated in the room right behind your room, and you were successfully.
I will say I don't think you were constipated when we went to the UK. I think you were good.
I was good most of the time. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, maybe I've turned to leaf.
No.
Maybe it's all good. Maybe the English food's better for me, or Irish food,
Or
whatever.
worse.
Worse in a good way. Silver lining and everything.
All right. So,
If you want, I can go over this one.
Let's do it.
It's a quick and easy one.
That's what she said.
Oh, she did.
Yeah. Tommy asked me if I had something, and I said no, and I was like, oh yeah, we did finish this one up today. All I've got is 2 waveforms, nothing else, no slideshow, no nothing.
Let's see a thing.
But it's a real life thing that came in today.
Freestyle.
Well, it came in yesterday, but
put it up.
Whip
Whip
it
it out.
out. Jesus.
I had to
Oh,
download
really?
it off of Google Drive because I sent it to
Jesus Christ.
somebody. I know it's not ready. I literally am downloading the waveforms as we speak, and every time I open it, it says
Is
recording
Mario
in
on?
Oh,
Is Mario in the audience?
He's
Uh,
there.
Not Mario.
He
I'm
was.
sorry. It was
He left.
Oz. Is Oz in the audience?
No,
Nah.
Oz comes late.
Okay. Because I had a client, I had someone call the shop, and they told JD that they bought a Pico, and they're a shop owner in Houston, and they saw one of my videos and wanted to chat with me about it. So I call him back, and the guy straight up lied. He's not a shop owner. He doesn't have a Pico. He's a car owner, and he wanted, I don't know what he wanted. I have no idea what he wanted. He wanted me to help him find somebody to look at his car, I think. So I told him, well, Houston, who do I know in Houston? I was like, Oz. He actually already talked to Oz. Oz said, I start with a 2-hour diag at $120 something an hour. And I said, and then the guy was like complaining about that. I'm like, dude,
that's cheap.
that's good.
That's too
Jump
cheap.
on it, man.
It's too cheap, Oz. If you're on here, Oz, raise your rates 2022.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a correlation code. I don't remember
Beat you.
on what
Paisa.
vehicle.
Auto.
Oh, easy.
Which
What's
is just interesting, you know. When we first started doing videos on YouTube, we got a little bit of kickback from folks in the industry, you know, like because we're teaching DIY videos. That's exactly the opposite. You know, we were doing mostly diagnostic type videos, and in our mind, if anything, like if a car owner came across it, they'd be more like, wow, this is great. I can see how technical, you know, what goes into actually diagnosing my cars is pretty
Yeah.
technical.
It's not like
And that
guys
was-
are out there buying Picos and trying to copy this.
Yes, sir.
But this guy did watch the video and felt like 2 hours of diag time was too much. So I don't know, backfired, I guess, in this case. Whatever.
Sorry, I have to download and install Pico 7. I don't have it on my desktop at home, so.
Why
You wanna
don't
send me
just
the-
open it in Pico 6?
You want to just send me the file?
Because we took the capture in Pico 7.
Yeah, it's fine. You get Pico 6. The latest Pico 6 will open a Pico 7 file.
Mm-hmm.
Will it?
Yep.
Yep.
The
I must
latest-
not have the latest because I go to open it and it's opening and it's like, ba-ding, the file,
want-
blah, 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 was created with a newer version application. Must use the file. You must first install the latest version of this software.
And I learned in the UK that 6 now has the drivers for the 4425A probes.
What? Just
Ooh.
as I started getting used to doing 7.
7 is so. I was doing 7 for the class, preparing, making sure I had all my slides updated, and I'm like, this is staying. Like, there's no point in me fighting anymore. But then I got to where I was like, oh, this is okay. But like in the UK, that thing crashed almost every single time we tried to demo it. Crap.
And we're trying to promote it. We're like, yeah, it's great. Crash. But it's getting better. Not quite there yet. But
2.5 years later, it's okay. No, I mean, there's some stuff they're doing that's awesome, but I wish they would just keep it from crashing.
Brian, did you want to give Hawken a link to do the thingy to get on to do things?
Yeah, I think we should, since
playing
we
with our wieners?
wrecked his calendar day.
yeah.
And this way Keith can fix my fucking IFTA.
Oh, yeah, I got to do that too while I'm trying to do this.
Keith, you want to present a case study, pull up
Yeah,
the
please.
ASTE website, and fix Chris Martino's stuff.
Yeah. Can you do all
And
those
castrate
things?
that pig that you go ahead and take care of that tonight.
I don't know if you guys have seen my pig, but my pig is cute.
Oh yeah, I did see the pig. It's cute.
His name is Chip.
The animal too.
A manimal? A manimal?
Oh yeah.
I think Brian's doing the thing. He's concentrating. Or you look like you're really in your seat.
Oh wait, sit up straight. You look more like a kid when you sit up straight. Do that again. I imagine your feet dangling and not touching the ground, and you're swinging them.
I sent Hawken Bud Light a link.
Hawken Bud Light?
Bud Light.
Hawken Natty Ice.
Hawken Natty Ice.
Just every time I hear his name, I just remember how Brian messed up Matt Fonslow's joke at Vision Tech Talks.
I didn't understand his joke. I still don't understand his joke.
He
Man.
even tried to plan it with you ahead of time.
That guy seems to have gotten all his sense of humor from like a whole series of The Office.
I think
Fucking
I have a
weirdo.
good sense of humor. I didn't understand.
No,
what
you
he was
don't. You got no damn sense of humor.
talking about.
That's funny. That's the funniest thing you've ever said.
What are you talking about?
That's a good comeback story.
Huh. Need to stand.
He's got to download
Sorry, guys.
Zoom on his laptop, so be a minute.
What? What is this? What
I
is
mean,
this download Zoom?
I don't know. It's like
Pretty sure you
Here
can
it
just. Whatever, man. Whatever. You know what? Tell him never mind.
We ain't got time for this. So
Keith, are you going to be showing this thing or what?
Yeah, it still says 1 minute left. I'm on satellite internet. Give me a break.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Bryn, do you want to do your case study? Because
Yeah,
that's
I mean, it's
totally polished.
Let's do my case study. You want to do
Let's
that?
do it.
Yeah.
whip it out.
Right.
Giggity.
I'm over here streaming and team viewing and everything.
All of the things.
Son of a gun.
What is this?
All right, you guys good?
The hood's popping.
Hyundai Santa Fe.
Oh, son of a gun. Are you good? Can you see it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that looks
yeah.
good.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So this is a 2007 Hyundai Santa Fe. Jerking is the symptom. So,
She said.
At a medium
so we
pace.
found some deteriorated coil connectors and fixed the car. So case study done.
Okay. And a cat.
Next.
So the background is a couple of months ago, her quote regular mechanic replaced the alternator because of apparently charging system problem, I guess. the vehicle started jerking. She said not immediately. It was a few weeks, maybe a couple weeks later, I guess. Only occurred lower speeds, like on her neighborhood road. I don't recall if she told me. I think she did tell me that it had some cylinder misfires codes is all that was there. Her mechanic replaced all 4 oxygen sensors, all 6 spark plugs, and all 6 ignition coils. And
Wow.
there was no change.
The coils took out the oxygen sensors.
Yeah,
It happens all
and
the time.
he recommended that she take it somewhere else and get it diagnosed. We actually know the lady. So she called and she said, apparently my regular mechanic's tool is not as big as yours.
Dude, I'm sorry. I know you're doing a case study, but I don't know how many times a week we heard you have the big scanner.
Yeah.
Or how about the famous, oh, if I had that scanner, I would have fixed this car already.
Yeah, pretty much. That was it. So we invited her in. She brought it in. So when we get there, Carlos is initially looking at the vehicle, and this is what he recovers from it. So PO300, 303, 305. I decided to start taking on a test drive. I don't often use this tool, but I started thinking I really should, I guess, use it for field trim, stuff like this, because it really is helpful for stuff like this. So took it on a test drive, and this is the result. So for those of you that are not aware, this is AES eScan, whatever. It's a global tool, so generic OBD2 tool. So it has some pretty cool features. This is one of them, basically the ability to bank, put these fuel trims, total fuel trims, on a table. This is a dual bank engine, of course, being the whatever it was.
That
What
is
was
the
it?
best feature.
Yes.
Is the engine
Yeah, it is the
running?
best feature.
Is the engine
Is
running?
that
Engine running?
2.7? Yeah, engine running.
Well, why is the charging voltage so low?
Let's see, where's the charging voltage?
The big red
Big
light
red
at the bottom
button.
left.
It's talking
That's a good
to you.
question.
It's probably talking to you right now. Charging voltage low.
Charging voltage low. Bank 1 fuel
I
trim.
bet you
Okay.
because it was idling. I bet you because idling with the lights
Yeah.
off.
Well, let's see. The arrow is low here. Where's that arrow? No, don't ask me stupid questions, guys.
You're at 600. You're about 700 RPM. Look on the right. Top arrow.
Where is it?
Top
Where
arrow.
is it? Top arrow.
Top arrow. Follow it down.
Okay. Oh, there you go. 15% throttle.
You're idling with the lights.
Idling.
With the lights off.
There you
Turn the freaking AC or headlights down. And charging voltage will go up.
You know what? That's a good point. I think we used to think that charging systems had to be like 13.5 volts all the time, or it was a problem. Although I would have a problem with 12.27 volts, but
Especially on this era of vehicle. That's kind of older, right?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's, and it's a Hyundai, so it's pretty stupid. But I don't know. What I can tell you is we never had a problem with charging system voltage the whole time that we had the vehicles. So I can't answer why we have 12.27.
Okay.
I wasn't worried about it. But I can say my personal experience is it's not uncommon for me to see kind of lower voltage than the car actually has scan data sometimes. I don't know if you guys experience that, but I do sometimes. But anyways, that's what this does. It kind of graphs out on a table each bank's total fuel trim. So bank 1 over here on the left, bank 2 on the right. So you guys will have to play along because of the delay, if you don't mind. What do you guys see going on here? Anything that kind of gives us any kind of indication or direction?
You have fuel trims that are opposite. One negative.
The other.
They're opposing each other, but what area are they opposing each other?
At idle.
Idle.
At idle.
Ish.
But it's not really above idle, right? They're pretty close
I mean,
above idle.
You could have filled the chart a little more. Jeez.
I mean, I could have, but
It's because your
didn't.
charging system voltage is low. Come on.
That's why. That's it. But I mean, we do. You guys saw it. We have negative fuel trims on bank 1 and positive fuel trims on bank 2, kind of closer to idle. But as soon as we come off idle, they're actually pretty good.
There's Hawken, by the way. Hi, Hawken.
Hey,
Sorry, Brent. Go on.
I don't know. That's interesting to me. But what do we think of when we see? First of all, I guess we'll take it one step at a time. When we see opposing fuel trims like this, bank 1 negative, in this case, bank 2 positive.
Well, I would think a cat is some kind of exhaust restriction, but it gets better when it goes higher.
Yeah, so like a bank-to-bank breathing variation of some kind, right? So, but like you mentioned, if it was an exhaust restriction, we would expect, if anything, we'd expect it to
Get
get
worse.
worse as the load goes up, right?
Mhm.
What else can we expect? What other things cause bank-to-bank breathing variation?
Nothing. But timing.
Yeah, engine timing, right? But with timing, let's say, is this a variable cam time? Is it fixed? I'll tell you it is variable. So that's something to think about here is variable cam timing. Yet whenever you suspect any kind of cam timing issues, first of all, wouldn't we expect correlation codes? I mean, if it's got variable cam timing, then it should have monitors for correlation, I would imagine.
You would unless it's dumb or a Chrysler or just inside spec.
Yeah. Here's what I think. I think most of the time when you have phased cams, you have correlation monitors, and they're usually pretty good, So that's my experience. But also like when you suspect cam timing issues, you have to think about if it is a phased engine. Do I have a base cam timing issue? If I have a cam timing issue, is it a base cam timing issue, or is it something going on with the phased cam timing, right? So something that we talk about in classes when it comes to fuel trims and looking at them, this is a mass airflow type system. So when the mass airflow assumes that each cylinder is getting the same amount of volume of air equally. And so when we have one bank that's has a variation from the other breathability wise, whether it's an intake restriction, exhaust restriction, or cam timing issue or something like that, then that's what causes this variation, this bank to bank variation in fuel trim, because the side that has that's actually breathing less than the mass airflow is expecting it's breathing will be getting negative fuel trims because it'll be getting fueled for higher volume of air than it's actually getting, and then the opposite the other case. But when we teach about that in class, we just talk about what we're going to see, which is what you see here at the low RPMs. But we don't talk about what could happen with phased cam timing engines. What if we have a situation where the cam timing actually corrects off idle, right? At idle, we don't have a lot of phasing. So if we have a base cam timing issue, wouldn't we see this? And then as we came up off of idle and the ECM started to phase the cams, couldn't it kind of adapt for this variation in cam timing and by phasing that one a little more to hit the target? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mr. Paul Smith says possibly an intake runner on one bank that works and one doesn't.
That is true. So we talk about breathing issues. It could be an intake restriction. So intake runner might be, I've seen that on older Fords. I have not. Most of the intake stuff, runner controls we have now are more about just changing how the air comes into the cylinder, not necessarily changing the runners, I guess. Would you guys agree? That seems like to be the most common trend now is not really changing the runner length so much as it's like a swirl valve now.
Not enough to create a misfire, I don't think.
But if it was, it probably would be more noticeable, like it maybe off idle than idle. But anyways, what do you guys think about that situation? Have you ever run into a situation where you have a base cam timing issue? So at idle, you might actually have a cam that's out of alignment, right? But then it is a phased engine, so off idle, when it decides to phase the cams, it can compensate for the variation. Do you think that's possible?
Sure.
Okay. Have you ever experienced that?
I have not.
Me neither. So let's take a look, see what we have. So this is using, whatever, GDS2, I guess. But here we have at the top 832 RPMs. Again, remember guys, this jerking symptom is only at lower speeds like parking lots and neighborhood roads. But manifold absolute pressure is 7 psi. Throttle position 15%, accelerator pedal position 14. But here's what really matters: intake camshaft desired position bank 2 is 0. Actual position for bank 2 is 0.23, so pretty much 0. Intake desired position for bank 1 is 0. Actual is -20. That's at idle. So we have 0 request, like we don't want the cam phased at all, but our intake for camshaft bank 1 shows actual position -20. That's kind of starting to agree with my theory. Bank-to-bank variation showing opposing fuel trims at idle that get better off idle. And so here we are off idle, 1925 RPMs, but you can see our actual versus desired 32 degrees. So this particular model does not show us, like if you had a duty cycle percentage, you would see for all the rest of them, you would see maybe 20%, but for this one, maybe you would see 50%. Does that make sense? That's what I would expect to see, but I don't think they had that supporting PID because I looked for it and didn't find it. So, I don't know what we did here. Oh,
I see a thing unplugged.
Okay. So my thought was, what if is it possible? Now, let's talk cam timing. We have intake, this is a dual overhead cam system. It has intake and exhaust, but I believe it only phases the intake. I mean, I don't think it phases the exhaust at all. So when we do phase, when we have, if we're only phasing the intake cam, then we're generally doing what to it when we're phasing it?
Advancing.
We're advancing it. So usually it's a fixed position at its most retarded state, and then when we want to phase it, we would advance it. So it's interesting to see a -20, and that to me is kind of telling me it is a kind of a base timing issue, and the fact that we see -20 when we're not even trying to phase it. But I thought, let me unplug this and make sure there isn't something, some kind of current flowing through this making it do something weird. And I wanted to kind of monitor the data. Well, I unplugged it, and unfortunately, as you guys could expect, it just kind of shows fixed zeros. We sometimes see that the data just kind of defaults to nothing, or just kind of shuts the system down, basically. But that's what we had. So it really wasn't the test that I was hoping for. And I'm just showing here that when we did that, we obviously have control solenoid circuit fault codes, which would put it in like a default strategy. So the data is not necessarily going to do you much good, which is what we had going on. Now we're going to go ahead and run cam phaser intake on bank 2 first, because our cylinder misfires were bank 1, and the erratic data that we're getting is also for bank 1, and it's the jerking's at low RPM and the data is kind of goofy at low RPM. But so we're going to start with bank 2. We could start with bank 1, which is the problem one, but I like to start with the system that's working, which is great, by the way. Comparative analysis, a lot of stuff we have in automobiles we have multiples of, so we can do stuff like this, which is cool. So we're going to do the cam phaser intake bank 2, and you can see bank 2 desired position 60, and intake camshaft actual position went to 56, really close to 60. Pretty good. I think that's a pretty good success. High five moment for bank 2. Good job, bank 2. We do the same for bank 1, and we desired a 60, and our actual is 39.2. What do you guys think of that?
Well, that's not good.
But the difference of what?
Half.
20.
The difference of 20 degrees, which is what we had when we're not phasing, right? We had a variance of 20 degrees on that bank 1 even before we varied. But so if we're starting at -20 degrees and we request 60 degrees of phasing, and we end up at +40, how many degrees do we phase?
So it's doing all the things.
It's so the phasing is working. It's going kind of backing up our theory. We probably have a base cam timing issue. The actual phasing of it works. Like, it's able to get 60 degrees is what it wants, right? Would you guys agree with that?
It's got full range. It's just skewed 20 degrees.
There you go.
Well, that's what about you never go full retard. You know what full retard?
I'm just confused, though, at this point, why we don't get cam timing correlation. And at this point, I've kind of made a decision. This thing's got a base timing issue. I decided to do this really more or less just for this presentation. Like, normally I wouldn't do this, but I decided I'm going to do a cam crank correlation. So that's what we do. And this is what we have. Would you guys agree, even before you have a known good, that if you have a cam, one of the 2 intake cams is off, that you would not expect to see this, would you?
No, that's pretty textbook.
Usually, if you're cams are in sync like this, that's green and red, intake cam. When they're in sync like this, that's usually an indication that that's the way it's supposed to be. But
Or the circuit
we decide we decide to check known good. I don't even recall. Let me see if I can.
I work on German cars, so I take nothing for granted. So.
I don't have like instructor notes kind of visible. So I would love to give credit where credit's due. Oh, gosh, I will try to before this is over because I think that's important. But ours looks good. Even when you compare it to the crank, which is we obviously have one cam that's good and one that's bad, so we would expect to see the cam. We really don't have to compare it to the crank in this case, but when we do, it's good too. So this was taking, obviously it's possible that a car's fixed, right? So we have to put the scan data back on it while we're doing this cam crank correlation, make sure we still have that variation. And we did. Our cam timing showed a -20 on the actual when we wanted 0. And at the same time as our cam crank correlation is showing good. What do you guys think about this? I mean, this is me, and I'm confused. Are you guys confused with me?
Yes.
Oh. So we don't, I back it up. I do a relative compression test. For those of you that aren't aware, I think most of you are. Red is starter current. We're synced with ignition events, so we know which cylinder's which. I usually don't do this test without putting a pressure pulse sensor in the intake just because it's so quick and it's just kind of a visual. It's just sexy to me. It's visually sexy.
Yeah.
But when we have a variation bank to bank, what would we expect to see? Assuming our firing order is usually one bank to the next and then back to the bank 1, bank 2, bank 1, bank 2, right? Mm-hmm. So we would normally see high, low, high, low, high, low, and we kind of see some similar indication here: deep pull, shallow pull, deep pull, shallow pull. We don't see it. So our cam crank correlation looks like our engines in time are this. Again, this isn't a capture I necessarily needed. It was just me putting slides together for you guys. But I'm confused at this point. So then I decide I'm going to go ahead and drive it again. And this time I drive it, and I've just taken screenshots as I'm driving it. This is a launch tool. I use 3 different scan tools on this vehicle, guys. Bank 1, 5.47, 5.47, 2.34, 2.34. Like, it's always pretty dang close to what it's. Oh, these are fuel trims. I'm sorry.
But even I can see the cam shot of the actual is pretty close.
There you go. Desired. Sorry. 0. Yeah, the cam. That's at the top. Sorry about that. The actual versus desired now is showing pretty good. So what did I do that's different? Look over here to your left.
You plugged it back in? You unplugged?
The crankshaft, this symbol right here, indicates that it's shielded. So I usually like to stab wires, but when I see this symbol here showing that it's shielded, I'm usually kind of careful because I don't want to short the shielding into the circuit. And these crank sensors are kind of tough to get at.
You made it tight.
So I decided to unplug. I decided to go at the ECM, which is really accessible, but you guys know sometimes these covers are difficult to get off without unplugging. So I did unplug the ECM connector when I did this this test here, or at some point during this test. I get back on the road, and now our actual timing matches our very desired timing. No cylinder misfires. What are you guys thinking? Help me out.
You fixed it.
Ship it.
Ship it, no questions asked, right?
Ship it.
Our tool was bigger.
You can't do that while I'm drinking.
And not only is our tool bigger, but it fixed the car.
How big is your tool, Brent?
It's 6 inches.
Nice.
What are you guys thinking? I mean, this is your car. It's in your bay. You just run through this scenario.
I'm checking pin tension on the connector.
I will say this: when I worked at the dealer, when I worked at Hyundai, even though it was a little bit earlier than this model year, they pretty much said in school that you have to reset adapters anytime you do anything to these junks. So I don't know.
I can see resetting adapts. Like you have a fuel trim issue, you're seeing a fuel trim issue, you kind of want to reset those just
You
before
think
you
it's
come.
stuck on stupid?
I'm talking about like if you're replacing any sensor or part or something, you reset adapters. It doesn't even matter if it's fuel related or not.
Okay.
So you're saying the module's stuck on stupid, Tommy?
Yeah, I mean that whole car's stupid, so I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like, for real, have you guys ever like taken a look at like replacing modules on these junks? It's like, Jesus Christ, like 1 month they use one module and the next month it's a whole different module, and then they just keep going back and forth. I guess it's like whoever's cheaper for the month or something. I don't know. It's
exactly what it is.
All right. So after test driving, everything's looking good now. The only thing I did different is disconnect that ECM connector. I showing after the test drive, going back to a different schedule again. No DTCs present after the test drive. But I started thinking this thing's like logic locked, right? So it's like a PCM that's starting to fail, or it's getting really in a noisy environment, electrically noisy environment or something. So I decided to check that. And so initially just a handheld tester. This is the first, obviously it starts when you're doing system tests, it starts with battery. So this is what we've got here. But then we start to go into the starting and then the charging system test. And what does that second one right there say?
Reloaded
Ripple.
charges.
Excessive ripple.
I told you
And
the
the-
charging voltage was low.
They never had low charging voltage. Look, you got 13.9 and 14.2 here, but
I see what he did
excessive
there.
ripple.
Go back a slide.
Go back a slide.
Yeah. 127 degrees.
Yeah.
The
I mean-
Fucking Florida.
That's what she
Alright.
said.
I need to go back for that.
Fucking Florida. 8,000,000% humidity. It's the humidity. That's what it was. That's what did it. It was the humidity on the pins and all of the mess. There was a mess in the wires caused the problems. Right there, you fixed it.
All right, continue
I don't
on.
know about you guys, but when I do these handheld testers, I feel like they're pretty good about this. You almost never see excessive ripple displayed on these testers.
Yeah.
And then when you do get ripple, when it shows you the actual ripple, it's very, very low. Like, I know that the rule of thumb is 0.5 volt, but this is at the battery. You got to consider that. What happens with AC ripple, like when you're checking at the alternator, yeah, you can have a little bit of noise there and be okay. And every car is a little bit different. There's some sensitivity to it all. But when you come back to the battery, if the battery's good, that battery should absorb some of that. So you almost never see this much AC ripple at the battery. And so I decided, you know what, that's kind of a problem. In my experience, I just don't often get this. So I'm going to go ahead and test it myself. So we decided to test it.
Is that volts?
Go ahead.
Is that volts?
AC voltage.
Jesus. Okay.
This is at the battery. That's at
good
the
Lord.
alternator.
Oh yeah.
So I have a conversation with her. I said, your technician or your regular mechanic changed the alternator a couple of months ago.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to see if he's going to warranty this out, or what do you want to do? And she decided she wanted me to replace it. And so I gave her 2 estimates. I wanted to put an original on. And actually, the price between the aftermarket and original wasn't very much different, but the original one was going to take several days to get. So she actually, for less than $100 difference, she decided to go aftermarket, which is a Bosch unit. We put a Bosch unit in, and it was good. Like, this is weeks ago. I just tonight, before I presented this, decided to ask her if it's still running okay. She says it's still running perfect. So,
Do you have pictures of the valve cover leaking on the alternator?
no.
The timing cover.
Well, the new alternator was clean, honestly. We did find that there's different length bolts, so we did find that her regular mechanic saved her some money and put the long bolt in the top fan shroud bolt and ran it into the tank of the radiator. So we did find that, but and then the Phillips head screw, or the drywall screw in the battery terminal to keep it tight, at the battery post.
Yeah, none of that attributed to any of the problems.
Sounds pretty irregular, not regular.
It sounds very Florida, is what it is.
I mean, at this point, to me, it's a logic issue at that, because we physically saw cam timing correlation was good at the same time that the scan data told us that it was not. But before I was ready to condemn a PCM, I obviously got to make sure that there's not anything obvious that could be affecting it. Sometimes, it had Duralast coils on. Sometimes, excessive ignition noise from cheap parts can cause it too, but I started with the basics and saw excessive AC ripple from this charging system that he just put on a couple of weeks before the symptoms revealed themselves. So,
Do you want to
sure.
get into why AC ripple would be a bad thing?
Yeah, I mean, basically, is the PCM is supposed to make heads or tails of all of these signals coming in. When you have like large amplitude instead of stable, clean voltage, when you have large swings of voltage, it could affect the computer's ability to rationalize and make sense of everything. They just kind of freak out, I guess, is probably the best way.
Well, the way I describe it is computers talking ones and zeros, right? Voltage on, voltage off. And anytime you raise the voltage level with ripple, the computer doesn't know what that is, and it associates that as a message. So, message.
Yeah, I mean, it seems logical. But I think as we approach our clients, there's no way I could know that's going to fix your car, right? So as we approach our clients, we have to share everything we know, and that's it. Like people, it's really frustrating because we do our due diligence. We go to classes, we learn from each other, and we try to be good diagnostic technicians. But what that ends up putting us in is we end up living in this gray area, this unknown area. All we can do is share the facts. Like we can't say this is definitely going to fix your car, where a lot of undertrained technicians would make those commitments. And they don't really have a leg to stand on, but they make them. And so sometimes clients are more frustrated dealing with actual diagnostic, shops, because they're used to going other places where they just say black and white, this is definitely going to fix your car. So I think in this case, we need to be aware of that. And that's what we did, is listen, this thing's freaking out. It's clearly thinking there's a problem when there's not a problem. Before we're ready to kind of condemn this PCM, we have to make sure, tell her the situation. And this is what we see. We recommend replacing this alternator before and then reassessing. And so weeks later, it's still happy. So I would assume that was the problem. Hopefully the car stay fixed. But thank you guys for listening to me ramble on.
That was a good one. See, and that was you not polished. That was really good.
Thank you. I didn't want to talk to her. I was afraid she was going to say it was still acting up. I was going to present it like a couple of weeks ago on CTI, on one of Brandon and I's CTI classes. But I was I don't want to call her.
It does kind of suck when you're like, did it fix it or not? I don't want to know if it did or not.
I don't want to know because it still had junk parts on it the guy threw on, and I'm like, I don't want to know because it's, we might have to fix a couple of more of this guy's stuff before it's actually fixed.
I hear you.
Hey, Hawken.
We have a guest. We have a guy. Apparently he looks like Fred Durst. Circa 1999.
I'll have to assume that you're correct because I don't know who that is.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, he's from your area.
What the fuck?
I'll Google
I know
it.
who Fred Durst is.
Hagen! How's it going?
Good. How about you guys?
Great. How are you?
Oh, is that the
Lord.
Limp
You hear me? That's
Biscuit?
good.
That's the Limp Biscuit guy?
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, Tommy told me I look like a serial killer, so,
Oh, well, that's a compliment coming from Tommy.
Yeah, but he probably says that about all white people, right?
Wouldn't you? Shit.
Serial killer, serial killer, serial killer.
Well, we all eat Ortega tacos and taco seasoning.
The one that stands up, that stand up on their own.
Oh, I do those. That nacho cheese flavor hard shell. You better believe it.
Oh man,
What up?
that was a great case study. Very interesting, And I totally feel what you're saying about I don't want to call her and find out.
Oh man.
Is that Hey man, what kind of background you got there? Are you staying at a Momo?
I'm at a crappy ass La Quinta right now, man.
Oh,
La
man.
Quinta.
What did
It's
Richard
garbage.
call it?
La Quinta.
Yeah, it's
What
a
did Richard
pile of
call it? La
garbage.
Quinta. Didn't he?
Yeah, it's garbage, man. It's not a nice hotel.
Wait, are you
But,
actually using the armoire there? Like I'd never opened those things up. There's actually room in there.
The fridge and the microwave are inside it.
You actually use those?
Yeah, I use the fridge. So I buy like yogurt and fruit and stuff, and try to not eat like all garbage the whole trip, because I don't like to have bathroom problems the whole trip. You know.
That's half the fun.
Oh, that happens to me regardless of what I'm eating.
When you don't shit by Wednesday, then it's good.
Yeah, then you're going, uh-oh, this is a problem.
Listen, you haven't lived until you've been on like a 5-day business trip and you're starting to get scared that you're going to have shit poisoning.
You haven't lived unless you traveled with Bryn. Every trip is like, this is gonna be this is gonna be great, and this is gonna be different than the last time. 3 days later, Bryn's in cramps on the floor in the bathroom.
I don't feel good. Oh, yeah, I worry about
No,
that
I
stuff.
look fat the whole time because I haven't shit in a week.
It does happen. It builds up, and then there's like the purge day, and then
It's usually
comes out.
Wednesday.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Couple of days in, and suddenly, oh dear, yeah. Ugh. Try to avoid those if I can. So yeah, I'm using the mini fridge. I don't use the microwave, but yeah, I'm using the mini fridge. I got water in there and stuff. So, yep, I'm at a auto glass and body related show right now for Top Gun, talking about ADAS. So, yeah, it's been
Nice.
pretty interesting. There was a calibration competition that took place today. Competitors from Top Gun, Launch, and Autel all went. I felt real bad for the Autel guy. Whoever their competitor was, his system, they had a huge malfunction. A bunch of his gear didn't show up. Then they didn't have any tablets that had ADAS activated on them.
Oh, wow.
Then, yeah, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. They're really biffing it here. They don't have
The
any
plot
backup plans,
thickens.
no nothing. They were really in big trouble. So they did end up getting the calibration done. Actually, the first time they pressed the button, it failed. So they had to do it again. It was a front camera on like a 21 Hyundai Santa Fe. So, yeah, it was pretty entertaining to watch. The guy that represented Top Gun did a really good job. It was not me. It was a guy that works for one of the companies that we supply to, and he does hundreds of calibrations all the time, and he's extremely good, and he represented us, and he did a great job. So we don't find out who wins until Friday, so who knows? But it was fun to watch, good experience, and met some good people at the show. Obviously the collision and the body side and the glass is really not my wheelhouse. I'm much more comfortable at something like Vision, just because it's more the people that do the things that I'm used to. So, but it's been interesting, and it's definitely been enjoyable. And I went and met with Kurt Kennedy yesterday. Went and had dinner with him. We drove 90 minutes each way of us, and met with him and his wife, and we had dinner and talked about automotive stuff, and so that was really cool. Got to do that, and I didn't know his wife teaches for Transformers Institute, so I found that out, which was kind of neat, and yeah, just really enjoyable. So the roundtable thing, so I told Tommy I'd be happy to move mine, a night. I know you guys have lots of guys you have to get together to be able to do what you do, and I said, well, it's just me who runs my thing. There's no one who's like has to show up for it to work, so I can move mine. It's no big deal. And most of the people who come to the round table are pretty flexible, and we get a good number of folks consistently, and we just share case studies. So it's really just an opportunity to collaborate and learn from each other and help each other out. And sometimes we'll talk about cars. If guys are stuck on a specific car right now, we invite them to bring that up, and we try to invite all levels of technicians.
Can you guys do that every night then? Because I could.
No, we do it.
I could use that every night.
Twice a month we do it. So we do it twice a month. There's been some requests from Europe and Asia, like Oceania, so Australia. Some of them have been requesting that maybe I do a session that's more their time zone, and I'm going, man, you guys suck. You want me to get up at like 3 a.m.? We had a guy from Dubai that was on the last one we did, and I think he said it was literally 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. that he woke up to get on the meeting, and I was like, wow, you are one dedicated guy, man. I am impressed. And I was like, plus, we're not even talking about cars you see, so I feel really guilty here. Like, are you getting anything out of this? And he goes, oh, no, I really enjoy it. And, so potentially down the road, maybe I will plan a session for Europe or Oceania or both. I don't know. We just do it to try and help people out and make a constructive contribution, and it's a lot of fun. So we do it as often as the demand is, and right now it's twice a month. And if I had more time, maybe I'd do it more often. But we get some good cases. We had one that was interesting. Dusty Harrison from the European Tech Group was sharing a Porsche hybrid that he was working on, where he was trying to test the secondary air system, and you tried 2 aftermarket tools, and neither of them had any methodology to do it. And he was like, all right, well, what the hell? So then he hooks up PWIS, and the OE tool doesn't have any way to do it either. And he's like, oh, well, now I understand why the aftermarket tools didn't have it. And I'm like, kind of stupid the PWIS didn't have it. So he was pretty frustrated with that. But it was a very interesting discussion just about the challenges that we face and some of the stuff that we run into where it's like, dude, how are we going to test this system? Like you have to get creative sometimes. And sometimes you literally are in a situation where you're like, I'm like 90% sure this is going to fix the car, but I'm not really 100% because I can't quite get a smoking gun perfect yes, I'm 100% sure. Or, like Scanner Danner actually had a post the other day where he was saying he had a car with multiple problems and, trying to narrow down is it all related to this main concern or is it not? And so many more of the cars that I keep getting called out to, I feel like have a multitude of issues. So it's like, it gets worse and worse having to be able to figure out, are there multiple problems with this car or just one problem, or, is it all related or not? And some of that sifting through that on a car is tedious and difficult. So, I think the roundtable is good for that because we can be human and honest with each other and share, hey, I biffed it on this car, I flat out missed something obvious, or, we all do it. There's no doubt about it. You try to minimize the occurrences of that, but there are absolutely times where we just flat out miss stuff, and I think sharing with each other that experience helps all of us let ourselves understand that, you don't have to beat yourself up if you make a mistake. You're human, right? Training is how you get better and avoid mistakes, and collaborating with other people who do similar jobs or the same job helps you see things in your own process that you can improve. And I think that's really what I've gotten out of the roundtable anyway, is each person who's presented case studies, they think about problems in a different way. Even you guys, each one of you presents a case study, and every time I've watched, each of you goes about it a little differently, and you talk about it a little differently. And I think it's great because each perspective brings something different to the table, and it allows you to see a problem better on the whole each time you think about the different ways people describe stuff.
You said on the whole.
Yep, on the whole. So I see a lot of value in that. And so far it's been great. We've had a lot of people show up consistently, get 50, 60, 75 guys on the 2 sessions we've had. So I'm optimistic we can get more. I encourage everybody to come if they're interested. We love it. We're super happy that people are interested, and I plan to keep doing it until no one shows up. So
yeah, I would venture a guess that most that are in attendance are aware of it, but if not, how do they get? Where do they need to?
I will post in the chat the links to the session tomorrow. So I do usually an early and a late session. So tomorrow is the later session. That's going to be at 8 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Central time. So that's, West Coast guys, we're more catering to them that time. And then the following week on Wednesday, we do an earlier one that starts at 6 Central. So for the East Coast guys, a little bit more convenient for them. So I try to do an early and a late session for the 2 over the month. Seems like we get most of the same people either way, so whatever.
Cool.
That's fine with me, and there's usually more cases, and we got some good guys coming on. I know Dave Jodat is going to do a presentation on something. I don't know what the case is, but it sounds interesting. Leo Gilmore has one that he's going to do. I don't know if he's going to go tomorrow or the next week. PJ Walter, he had one that he's going to do, I think next week, because he's got other stuff going on this week. So, yeah, we get lots of people who come through, and I invite anyone who's interested. Come in, present. You don't have to make a bunch of fancy slides. If you want to, that's awesome. If you don't, who cares? It's not a big deal. It's just about sharing knowledge and helping each other out and, talking about your process. So I'll put the links in the chat, and, if anyone has questions or whatever, you can also go to my website, shotgundiagnostics.org. I have links on there to the calendar that shows when all of our upcoming sessions are. So if you want to know when the next session is, it's going to always be on there on the calendar. So easy to find.
Hey, is the money good?
I don't get paid anything. I don't ask for any money.
You get paid just as much as we do, right?
Yeah, $0.50. Yep. Now I will say I have had one sponsor who has stepped forward, Curian, who makes the N2 Neuron. They have sponsored it, and they don't pay me anything. I don't ask for any money, but they've given away a few of their Curian N2 Neuron units to our guests. We do a random drawing and whatnot, and I appreciate that. And tomorrow we're gonna discuss a little bit of their upcoming tool and let technicians participate in the development process. Talk about what features they'd like to see in the tool, what they would find valuable, things like that. And I'm fully fine with spending a few minutes doing that for the sponsor, just because it's a tool that's going to benefit everybody who works on cars, right?
What kind of
you want
tool
to
is
drive the development. It's a DVOM.
Oh.
So but the new one that's coming is supposed to be more like a 2-channel scope. It's going to be much faster refresh rate than the current N2 Neuron. So it potentially it could be better than the U.
Oh, is that the wireless one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen those.
Cool.
Yeah, I like it. I use it with some level of regularity. I've used it on quite a few cars, and I've had real good luck. And I mean, it's pretty affordable. I got mine for like $180, the whole kit and whatever, which is cheap. So I mean, that's great. And the new one, I'm sure, will be probably pretty affordable too. So I look forward to that as well. But yeah, I think getting to participate in tool development is always exciting. I mean, that's how I ended up working for TopDon, was doing testing for them and participating in tool development. And then they were like, "Hey, you want to work for us?" And I was like, "Okay, sure."
Cool.
All right. Why is Richard not here?
I don't know.
Didn't he have a case study?
Because this is fucking bedtime.
All right, I grabbed all the stuff off of our tickets, so it's not slides or anything, but it's pictures of data and pre-scanned, post-scans.
You got highly sensitive information about your client you're going to put up there for us?
No, I'm going to read off that ticket and then... let's see here. All right. So, this is a 2014 Chevy Express van. It's not a plumbing, it's an HVAC van. And
where's the background?
Do what?
Where's the background?
Yeah, so
For the
the
pinched wire.
customer's concern is to diagnose a rough idle and running with a new crate engine, has cam and crank sensors replaced, throttle body and idle sensors all replaced, map sensor replaced, mass airflow replaced, plugs wires replaced, O2 sensors replaced, and then this is what we've got code wise. So this is an engine that he purchased online. That's all that we know, and it's black and has heat plugs on it. That's what we know. So comes in, we pull pre-scan on, and again, I didn't work on this all together. I came at the very end and looked at the scope screen and went, "Ha! Look at that!" And then the rest of this I'm trying to fill in for you. It's got throttle body airflow performance, position 1 performance, random misfires, some other to be expected stuff, SRS codes. Okay, because it's a van and it's got low brake fluid. So we're living in this whole, this is a problem. Misfires probably are issue. Throttle position sensor and airflow performance. We assume this thing runs like total crap. Like it doesn't really want to move at all. Luckily, the guy's AC shop is across the street from our shop, so he literally like limped it over and was like, "We just put an engine in it, and this is how it's ran since we put it in there." So what was wrong with the last one? He said all the guts came out of the bottom driving down the road. So I've got, I think I pulled 2 pictures is all that they took of data and no fuel trims. So I'm not sure what the thought process was here for Zach 2, but he didn't grab any fuel trims. I'm sure he looked at them and went, this is what I need to do
key on,
next."
engine off. It's not even running.
Yeah. Manifold pressure. And then got this one. Michael J. Fox was there to help us with this photography. So engine load 100%. He left it in pounds per second, so calculated mass airflow is useless. But he wrote in a ticket it was 21 grams a second at 580 RPM.
Cool.
At 50% load. So he thought, well, that's a little interesting.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we asked
here
the
you have
customer.
engine speed 591 with 100% load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he asked the customer for all of the parts back, the original ones to start with. Looks like we reinstalled the factory mass airflow and got to about 7 grams a second at idle, and we don't have no picture of that. Still ran like total trash. Misfiring real bad. Had cylinder 3 and 6 misfires, looked like. That's what he was saying. So, for whatever pieces of data he had that led him to that, which I assume was fuel trims, he took a in-cylinder waveform and 259 psi running compression.
That's all the PSIs.
That's all the pissies. It's all of them.
Oh,
So found that kind of interesting. And then we noticed that there was 16.23 psi during the exhaust stroke.
But what is this? I mean, what it says running. This looks like a snap throttle or something, no?
Yeah, I think it may be. So let me pull out. Yeah. Snap throttle.
he said, "Let me
Okay.
pull out." Hey, giggity.
Giggity. So 99 psi running. That's still pretty high. Let's see, what was the other one? He had all these pictures saved and stuff, and then some of these are
So
way
is the exhaust valve not opening?
So 16.96 psi in the exhaust, peak compression of 96. I'll move that out of the way.
Who's this Jerry
Come
guy?
up. So looking at this, I sent this to Steckler after we realized what was going on. This picture doesn't show it too terribly well, but if you want to pay attention to the zero line, here running our exhaust doesn't look too terribly different, or our vacuum doesn't look too terribly different. Sorry, I got a bunch of captures pulled up. I literally just grabbed all this stuff. I was like, it's a broke car from today. Let's go back to this one. Zoom out. Let's look at one of these snap throttle vents in here. It's kind of interesting. If you take a look, the exhaust valve is opening fairly early. Let's see here. Turn those on. Get a quick capture here for those going. He's all over the place. I literally just grabbed all these. I walked in when this car was broke, and that was it. Almost at the actual 180 mark is our turn. And then we're assuming that somewhere around the 360 mark, or somewhere before that, somewhere around here, our exhaust valve closed. Looks like it opened early, closed early, and then the intake valve opened early and closed early. So, I don't have it.
Was this thing ticking like a motherfucker?
No, but we pulled a cam and crank waveform, and it was good compared to our known good. This is a 4.3, non-variable valve timing, 14 V6. Cam and block timing chain driven motor. But
So
cam and crank correlation are
properly?
good. But the intake and the exhaust cams open early and close early.
So put the wrong cam in it.
They put the wrong cam in this.
Hey, it's just a single cam and cam.
Yeah,
and
it's
block,
a cam
right?
in block 4.3. The only thing that's not different than an old school one is this is not a distributor. It's got a big coil pack on the back, a six port coil pack at the very back of the engine. But other than that, it's a 4.3
So bizarre
Like,
how long they've been putting those
with no variable valve
cars.
timing. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're thinking that they put the wrong cam in this. That's kind of all we got at this point. That's where we said, "What do you want to do, Mr. Customer?" And he goes, "I'm going to call the company and see if they'll send me a cam." I'm pretty sure if I put a motor in and the cam's wrong, I'm putting a whole nother motor in.
Yeah, really.
The problem is they only want to pay you like like even the quote, national companies with brand notoriety and recognition only want to pay like $50 an hour when there's a warranty.
Yeah, and the funny thing was that he said the warranty company already wants to see pictures. So I sent him all this, and I said, "Good luck."
Yeah, exactly.
They want you to tear it down for nothing and take
so
all
here
these
was the
pictures.
cam crank waveform, just a picture inside of Shopware. I don't have the waveform. It's probably on one of the guys' laptops.
Is that JK?
Yeah.
What the hell did he get here?
That's Jerry.
It is. It's JK.
Where'd Hawken go?
Walker.
He probably got killed in that Momo.
Jerry killed
Oh,
him.
he's in the chat now. Where's Rich?
That's a very fitting background for you.
Yeah,
He's
so
fucking going
anyways,
stir.
nothing super special, just interesting. Never seen a cam in block where the cam was wrong or ground wrong or whatever. That just
And that's not a repair that you can just easily swap something. I mean, you have to tear apart the whole motor.
You sure it's not like my customers? It ain't got that mother thumper cam in it, by golly.
I hope this air conditioning company's van doesn't have the mother thumper from his motor he purchased on online.
Well, they always tell me, they go, well, we's doing that DOD delete and we got this cam. It ain't a big one.
It ain't a big.
How's it run at 7,000 RPM, Keith? Does it run great?
Well,
It actually does run pretty good at wide open throttle.
Well, there you go.
Jerry, I don't know if you saw this or not, but it's
Did you just call me Jerry?
I did.
I'm gonna stab you.
Sorry.
Isn't that your name though?
That's what
That's
it
his
says.
government name. That's his white people name.
That's the government name.
He's whiter than you guys. Like that guy's white.
Okay, look at this. It's got somewhere around the 240 psi of compression
While running.
while running.
well, snap throttle.
Still.
Hold on, what? But I'm trying to figure out. No, here's what I want to figure out though. Like, how is the wrong grind cam? Because if you figure, unless the firing order is completely different or something in the older 4.3s and the new 3.4.3.
Wasn't the old 4.3s like 1 or like 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something?
I could look at a file and tell you. Hold on. How do I get this off of this screen?
1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hold on.
That's 90, 19. What?
What?
All right, just let me get it.
I just went to Google, so
Boom. That's what the old one was?
Yeah. 1.
So what
6,
year
5,
was that
4, 3,
truck?
2.
Do you know what it is on that
14.
truck?
This is a 14
All right, give me a second. I'll pull a file and I'll tell you what the firing order is on that truck.
with a 4.3.
Boom, boom, boom. All right, it'll be a second, so go back to.
Do a sync, even an RC would sync. If its spark timing is off because of the wrong cam, possibly.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see when that ignition event occurred. But
Distributor list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Usually, if it's just a cam issue, though, usually if it's like the totally wrong cam in something, they usually will.
What
Does it run? I mean, what does it do? I got to the story late.
It kind of runs. If you throttle it and run, it'll just it just falls over itself.
Running really rich.
It's got the mother thumper idle in it. That's for sure.
well,
And
if
it
you
runs
go back
really great at 6,000 RPM, so you're
back
fine.
out of this and then go back at the first part of that capture is just like an idle.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So you put your rulers up here. I'm not sure. I'd be curious if you focus in more on maybe one event. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do, but get
Over
one
to the
fucking
right.
event.
All the way to the right.
What? Where
Drive
are my
right.
rollers?
Go
Oh,
to
there
the
they
right.
are.
Yeah, to the right.
There it is. There it is. One event you said?
Gosh, y'all made my ADD act up. Lost track. Oh, they changed the whole HP Tuners website. Now I can't find the repository. Great.
See, this is what I don't really do too well with the snap throttle. It gets kind of goofy anyway. So when I'm looking at this,
Yeah.
this does definitely. It's got a real rounded EVO there.
Yeah.
All right, you said it's a 14?
Yeah.
I'm just going to search 4.3s. All 4.3s.
Almost 5 psi
Yeah.
in the exhaust there.
At idle. Put
Yeah, we
your
dropped
rulers
the
up and see what
exhaust,
the
by the way.
RPM is.
Do what?
Put your rulers up and see what the RPM is. It looks like an idle capture.
I didn't even take it. I don't know.
Yeah.
866 RPM. Yeah.
And it's got what PSI? 7? No.
5 almost.
5 PSI.
All right, 16543
Drop that cursor.
Wow.
7.8.
7.8.
The fuck?
It's a 4.3 V6.
You know, cut those two out.
Oh yeah, well then I decided to cut the last the G
It
and the H off.
So let's go. Don't worry about it.
Fucking guy.
Don't worry about those.
That's those guys wanting to shoot flames out of the tailpipe.
Don't worry about that little guy. Don't worry about that little guy.
Okay, so you have to figure though. So like an HP tuner's the definition is still there. So that's what it's pulling when it's pulling the definition. Like there's something in that spot in the file, and then something and then the next switch that's going to tell you cylinders is going to determine how many of those it actually uses.
So he's got a V8 cam in this thing.
Drop your ruler to the intake pocket. I wanna
Is
see
that the same
difference.
firing order though? 165432.
It's interesting.
It's still 117 psi at idle.
Did it have phasers on it?
No.
Oh.
Oh, it didn't have the phasers?
No.
Oh, then no wonder it runs bad because when you need to go in there and you need to turn the phasers off, and then you need to go in here to desired angle, and then you need to set it all to 0. Duh.
Oh, it's just that simple, huh?
Or we could just put the right motor in this van. I don't know.
Fucking hackmaster over there. The fuck?
Just put that bad boy on a trailer, send it to Tennessee. By God, we'll get it running right
Dude,
now.
I got 2 calls today for, hey, can you turn my check engine light off? I took the cats out.
Woo, yeah. Ooh.
Well, we told them we could turn the check engine light off. It typically requires a set of new cats.
The problem they've been having a lot lately is the catalytic converters are the OEs are back ordered, so all the cop cars in town have aftermarket cats on them, and they all throw codes.
Dude, I got called to a shop today. It was a 2017 Range Rover Sport. He bought it at auction. Every single piece of glass in the car was hit with a bat. The paint was fucked. The car was sitting on the bags. The cats were stolen. And the interior was torn apart. And he wanted to fix the suspension. Had can codes, barely ran, and he paid $25,000 at auction with a salvage title for the car. And he wanted to fix the suspension. I'm like, yeah, that's the last of your worries, man. I told the shop, I was like, listen, if you because a customer bought it, I was like, listen, if you got an out, take it. This is not going to end well. Like, you sure you don't want to look at it? No, I do not want to look at it. I was like, I'll look at it, but it's not going to end well.
I wonder if there's a situation where like the lifters are not pumping up on this thing, like it's got shitty, dirty lifters or something.
You know, what's funny is it's quiet. Kind of was my first thought when he pulled it in. I was like, it's just there's something else wrong. And then the more and more we look at this thing, and then
okay, what are you looking at? Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. So we're gonna look at something. Hold up, desired angle, right? So, I don't know. What's your barometric pressure there?
14.
Yeah, we're at sea level. We're 220 feet above sea level.
Okay, so you're not okay. So nothing crazy.
Nope.
All right. How many RPMs?
Right here, 866.
It's how much? 866?
866.
All right. And what is your cylinder air mass?
I don't know.
If it's
0.04 pounds per second.
Well, it's if it's 0.14, then you would be at 8 degrees timing, and then 10 degrees if it was at 0.16.
But I don't have
you're at
ignition timing up here. I didn't grab an ignition timing event.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They did grab, by the way, they did grab an ignition timing event in another capture, and I don't know where it's at. But it was 120 degrees before top dead center.
Oh well, shit.
Yeah, that's like,
Why didn't
what?
you say something when I mentioned that like 30 minutes ago?
I forgot. I just now remembered. Remember, I told you guys as a case study, I didn't do this car.
Okay,
It's just setting.
I thought you
across
was
the
like
shop
maybe
for
a
me.
couple degrees off. You're 120 degrees off.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and the
Well,
cam and crank correlation is the same as my known good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hold up, I've seen something like that before.
You know what, man? You need to tow that thing to a church and get that thing blessed by a priest.
Did you check the battery terminals?
Yeah, we had a hybrid Civic in today. The battery terminal splits on.
Oh shit!
I hope my customer's not watching. If you are.
Oh, I just got wired. Sorry, I forgot about that, JK.
Oh no, they're totally fine. I don't think they have the internet.
I don't think they have the internet. All right.
I'm trying to
just
look.
glad they don't have the internet.
Oh my gosh.
I saw
That's all I
something
got.
like you were talking about though. I saw something crazy like that like you said it was just ignition time. It was 120 degrees off though, right?
Oh, sorry. So Jeff Barnes is down in Oklahoma City. We got a little Midwestern technician group, and Zach, who was looking at this, messaged him a picture of it. So I'll screen share again, and you can see this is in Messenger. Jeff just sent to me. Look at Spark.
Cool.
123.7 degrees before top dead center.
Where is? Oh God!
Like God intended it.
Well, hold on. Here's what I didn't notice before. Zach's on the wrong one. Look.
Oh shit!
Look at that. Did dude put the spark plug wires on wrong?
I'm thinking
Ah,
because the running
Look.
waveform doesn't look crazy to me.
Not idle. No, it doesn't. It's
No.
a little nuts. Like maybe it needs to be a good break-in period or something.
Wait up. So what? Oh my God!
don't mind
Jeff,
me.
text Zach that. Tell him that he's on the wrong spark plug wire. So if he's
Hold on
on
a
the right
second.
one off the coil, then they've got the spark plug wire.
Let's see what timing's supposed to be right then. Let's just look at time. I'm gonna look at timing real quick.
That's 8 to 10 degrees. It's at idle.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna look at the.
You don't have to
map,
nerd out on us, JK.
No, but
Cool.
I want to know.
He's just
kinda
trying to
curious.
show how big his wee wee is.
No,
That's all
because
it is.
like if you do the math, I think it could be some plug wires crossed.
Yeah, that's what. Look, I can see it in the scope waveform that there is a secondary ignition event 8 to 10 degrees before top dead center. I just think the plug hole he was in. Let's see, he was in the
Wrong hole, fool.
driver's side center cylinder.
Either he got the wrong wire during this testing, or he got the right one and they put the wrong. But that sounds feasible.
Yeah.
The way everything's described.
Jeff
So you
messaged
should be-
Zach. Zach's probably out working on a fire truck in the middle of a forest fire or something. But
Oh,
I mean, depending on what the.
hell, tell him to send him to JK. He could use some help.
Hey, doesn't JK have an ambulance?
Yep, baby. Ambulance is the way to go.
All right. You know what?
a ambulance.
I forget. Richard's teaching a live class tonight, isn't he? No, he's teaching a virtual class. He just straight up got old and forgot, man.
Yeah, he must have.
Well, he's in Tennessee right now, so there's no telling. He might have got
I thought
snatched
he
up
was
by
in
a
Ala-
Nah,
I thought
he's
he was in
Central Time.
Alabama.
Central Time.
Yeah, he's in Bama.
Anyways,
I thought
keep
he
going.
sent me a thing from Smart. Said he was in Smyrna or something.
Smyrna, Alabama.
No, it said Tennessee Tech on the building.
You guys got schools down there?
Huh? No, that's Middle
Said that.
Tennessee. Trust me,
They
that
said
tech
that
school.
straight face.
That tech
Tommy.
school looked really nice, and I'm like, we
See,
don't
what-
even have a
what-
test lot.
It
with
was like a
ball.
serious question.
What happens is like my thoughts sometimes come out my mouth instead of staying in my
That's a
head.
George Bush moment where he's like, "There's inside words and outside words," and that time an inside word came out.
All right, I'm going, y'all.
Later,
Appreciate y'all.
Hey, Brett.
Been too
Get
long.
better.
We need to do this again soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, before I go though, you guys mind if I ask you something?
Yes.
Does it have to do with their extended warranty?
No, I don't have herpes right now.
Let's think about this. This is the questions from my case study.
Oh Lord.
If we didn't actually have a base cam timing issue, why did we have bank-to-bank variants opposing fuel trims?
Mm-hmm.
Because you corrected any possible issues, or previous shop corrected any possible issues with fuel trims because of lack of maintenance. Possibly.
I wasn't there for this one. What was it?
It was a
Well,
Hyundai.
Is it Hyundai?
Mhm.
Hyundai.
yeah, the Hyundai Bank One had misfires, 20 actual cam timing degrees when it was not wanting any phasing. It was 0 desired. We had Bank One was negative. What was it? 7 to 10, 7 to 8, 7 to 9, and then Bank Two was positive, about the same, right? Less than 10%. So,
Jeff just said he grabbed the wrong wire.
oh man,
I
it
know.
was still a
What a
mystery.
hoto.
So
Well, you
one
can
was
I
see-
just remember
7
him telling me
degrees.
about this. Again, I don't know the whole story. I got to figure out the van still shops. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the chain jumped, I guess, or
No, the cam crank correlation's good to known good, is what he said.
Yeah, but look at even on this waveform, it's the vacuum pockets are hugely different.
Vacío.
all right. So what was the question about the field trims though?
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, on this Santa Fe, we checked cam crank correlation more or less just for shits and grins. We were already pretty much positive it had a base cam timing issue. But when we checked cam crank correlation, it was good. So I put a scan tool back on it as I'm acquiring this good cam and crank correlation, and the scan tool still shows negative 20 degrees. Well, at some point, I unplugged the ECM, plugged it back in, and there no longer was a cam timing variance or error on the scan tool, and it was no longer coding and running rough. The question I have, so we basically assumed that it was like a logic lock situation. We ended up checking the charging system, and it had excessive ripple, put a new alternator on it, and the symptoms never came back. We just checked with her tonight. Weeks later, it's still perfect, running fine. The question I have is, if we didn't have a legitimate cam crank correlation issue, why did we have opposing fuel trims? And it really wasn't horrific. It was like less than 10% negative on one bank and positive, like, so we'll say negative 7% on one bank and positive 7% on one bank. So it could be just that it had something else affecting fuel trims a little bit, and it just happened to kind of match our other data at the time. Maybe it had nothing to do with it, you know.
Well, here's the thing though, is what you got to kind of look at. So, and this is going off of like a Chevrolet truck, right? Every single position that cam can be in, and this is not just, and if it's a dual, I don't know what motor was it.
2.7 or 3.3, I can't recall, but I think I know where you're going with it, and that's what I could assume is
Okay.
that the PCM's going to, if it sees that it's negative 20 degrees, then it's going to fuel for that negative 20
Exactly.
degrees.
There's a volumetric efficiency table for each exhaust and intake combination of degrees. So if you're -7 and +7, you got a 14 degree swing there.
Mhm.
So the volumetric efficiency table could be totally different between those. So that's going to really cause your issue there, is you're fueling totally different for this one and this one.
Yeah. I was thinking it's either just, I didn't look at it again, so it's either just unrelated or it is related, and it's just because it's fueling for, it's recognizing that that error, cam timing error, or what it was thinking as a cam timing error, but it wasn't, and it's fueling for this cam timing error, which could have caused our weirdness. But anyways, it's interesting when you think of it that way.
Hold up, I'm gonna try something here. I want to see if I can. Was it just the intake and the exhaust were both on the same cam, or how was that engine?
No, so it's intake. It's a V6 with the intake and exhaust. It only phases the intake cam.
Okay.
Let me see.
So
you want to know the engine? It's an 07 3.3.
All right, because I was just kind of curious. So if you was to take like just an idle, and it's like I'm just looking at this 4.3 that I already had pulled up, right?
Are you planning on sharing your?
Oh, how do I share my screen? Sure. This one. All right. Can you see it?
I think it's working because everything just changed, but I still see all of our mugs. So you did something.
Okay.
But you didn't do it right.
Well, apparently I didn't do it right, did I? Does it have to be like approved maybe or something?
No, it's going. It's finally working.
Oh, I don't want to share that one though. Well, hold up. Let me just do this. Let me scoot all this over. All right, here. Okay. So let's go, for instance, if we were looking at, you can see it now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if you were looking at this truck, which this is going to be totally different, of course, because it's a V8, it's going to have
Why can't you pull up Hyundai 3.3 files?
Well, if HP Tuners would get on the Hyundai game, we'll be all for it. But I don't think it's a good idea considering the price of Hyundai PCMs and the fact of how many that people that use HP Tuners like to brick usually. So if we just look in here where it's going to idle, like this truck would idle, right? So this is at 0 degrees. So let's see if we do a 14-degree swing. So if we're like right here in this cell, right at 1503, right? So let's write 50. I don't know. Where's me something to write with? I ain't got a pen nowhere around here. 1503. All right. Let's move it. Let's move our intake 14 degrees. Bam. We're at 1141. So what's my percentage difference there?
I don't know. Maybe 30, 20?
Yeah.
1.5 to 1.1? I guess I could do the math, but I'd rather you do it.
I'm doing it right now. Hold on. Oh, no, later. I need a calculator because I only got so many fingers and toes, dude.
Is it 26%?
I think. I think so, maybe. That sounds about right. It's like right at 25%. Does that probably?
I think it's in the 20s to 30%.
Yeah, it should. Maybe it is. Hold up. Let's see. Let's just do that times 1141 times 1.3 equals 1483. So that might actually be like, yeah. So it's like a 20-30% difference. It's somewhere in the 25 to 30% difference, right? So you got to figure that's a lot of difference in airflow, right? So, and these volumetric efficiency tables, like these numbers really are hard to understand. But let's see if I got a Gen 3 truck in there. So if we was to look at that same thing and we were to look at like a Gen 3 file, here we go.
What's interesting though is this thing's reporting a 20-degree variance in cam timing, but it's not coding for correlation, but it's smart enough to fuel for that variance.
What in the world? What is that? There we go. What in the world are these files I got? I don't even know what. What is this thing? Oh, that's why it's an E67A. It's like a PCM you're never going to see. All right, so how I don't have documents at your tuners. All right, let's just go in here to one of these. All right, so let's look at boom, 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 boom. What is this right here? Camaro P01, right? Because I just want to show you like the old school volumetric efficiency table. Because once you get in there, it's a lot easier to understand this. So it's calibration, wrong thing. All right, so when we look at this table, right? So we're going to look in that same area, like the idling range, right? That's 64% volumetric efficiency to 63%. So that's your cylinder fill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we decreased efficiency when we increased 14 degrees of timing by 25%. If you were to do the same thing here on this engine, then you would take that 63 and then you would turn that into what? A 63, 25%. That would be like a 46 or something.
What?
You get what I mean? So then you would be 46% efficient. So that's a big swing.
Yeah.
When you look at it on that, when you look at this, because that's what the kind of the bad thing is when you start thinking of the
But
coefficients and
it's
everything.
not legitimately, it's not. It was erroneous. So, but it's what you're saying is the PCM.
The PCM's job is always, so when you're talking about things like that's being off, right? The PCM's job is not to check everything and make sure everything works correctly. The PCM has one job: make that engine run, right? And it's always going to be fueling. Fueling is going to be your top priority strategy. And until you get into electronic throttle stuff, because then, of course, anything electronic throttle, we're going to shut the engine down because we don't want the one run away. But when your job as a PCM is to keep the engine running, all that other stuff gets put to the wayside. Like, checking this, checking that.
That's my point. And my question is, the PCM is reporting of 20-degree variance in cam timing. That is not actually happening. That's not happening. So when we learn base fuel strategy and fuel adaptation, we learn that it makes calculations, the base calculations off if it's a mass airflow car off the mass airflow sensor and throttle angle and all that. It doesn't. We're not taught anything about whether or not a PCM makes adjustments in base strategy from one bank to another because of a variance in cam timing. So does that happen? So if the PCM sees that it's -20 when it's wanting 0, is it going to change the base fuel calculation or pulse width on that bank because it sees -20 degrees even when it's not? Like, let's say there's no cam timing issue, but it thinks that there's -20 cam degrees. Is it going to change the base pulse width on that bank because it sees negative? So we're not taught that. Guys, would you back me up? In training, we don't talk about that, do we?
No.
Right.
And that's kind of one of those things is that's what, like with this class, my class where I pull stuff out and I show these guys is because a lot of that stuff they don't teach you. Because that's the thing is it's always going to take on any of these cars, it's going to take that, and they call them coefficients, right? Because the virtual volumetric efficiency table, like you see in HP tuners, that doesn't really exist. That's just something that they made by taking all those coefficients and using a calculation to get there. But no matter what's happening with the engine, it's going to take whatever it thinks the air going into that engine is by whatever coefficients that it has in it, whatever your cam timing is, whatever this is, what all these things meet up. And that's what it's going to put into the engine. And then it looks at the fuel trim to see what your long-term fuel trim is. And then it's going to add that to it. And it's going to, that's where we put in the engine. So if it thinks that your cam is -40 degrees off, that is what it's going to figure out because that's where it thinks it's at.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's just none of that stuff's documented like anywhere. So it's interesting to know that. I mean, that's kind of what I was assuming based on what I was getting, after finishing the case. I'm like, well, initially this led me to a possible cam timing issue, but there wasn't one. So why are we seeing, field trim opposing one another when there's not an actual cam timing issue? And I started thinking, well, it might be because it's fueling for a cam that's out when it's not, and now it's got to compensate for that error. But it's just not something that's documented that I know of in vehicle information. Yeah. Or any of the classes, any of the drivability classes. A lot of the stuff, I guess, we just talk about what the base fuel strategies are, but we don't really talk about what happens when there are fault strategies. I guess we don't know, and it could change. It changes from one manufacturer to the next, I guess. So often there's no way we can cover it all in classes, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, appreciate that, JK. I'm gonna hit it though. Y'all have a good evening.
Have fun with it.
Laters.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna call it a night. So
yeah,
unless you want to finish programming that BMW, Chris.
Oh, so I'm not. We're still not even close.
Yeah, we're still trying to get ISTA to work right.
That sounds no fun at all.
Well, JK, you can do a whole bunch of BMWs out there, and
you mean the three BMWs that are in this town? And but I actually had a blessing because these people moved in from the Atlanta area. This guy did, and he brought his techs with him, like 2 techs with him from down there, and they were a Euro shop. So now there is a Euro spot in this town. So all the people that call me with their Euro junk, I say, hey, I know some guys, and I send them right over there. So it works out great for me. Euros are evil.
Euros are evil.
They are, dude. I mean, it's one of those things. It's just like it doesn't make sense for me to invest in them because there's just not enough of them, right? I mean, it's kind of like that. I mean, would you go to a 12-hour class on Chevy Aveos?
Who's teaching it? Who's teaching it?
Oh, does that matter?
Yeah.
Well, Brian's going to teach it. We're going to have Brian teach it.
Brian, would you take an air filter class if John Thornton taught it?
Yeah, probably. It would probably be pretty good, too. I'd learn all kinds of micron details, and yeah.
What if it was Bernie teaching it? Would you take it?
No.
No.
Hey, Perkins.
I don't need to know
Yes.
paper
check your
was
phone?
made.
This is the exact size of an air molecule. We broke it down at a molecular level. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go play with the Jeep though tomorrow, so we'll be able to make a good one out of that. Hopefully.
The Tesla powered Jeep.
No, the Tesla powered Jeep. I think that project died. I think because I just told them, I was like, and when we got down there and so the problem ran in with the Tesla Jeep, and one of the biggest issues with it is there's no way to trick the vehicle into thinking the engine's running, right? Unless you were to blast a bunch of CAN data over the network to make it think it's running and emulate that.
What's wrong with that?
But the guy didn't want to spend the money it would take to make that happen. So I think he wanted like a fully street legal, like that you could do on a production is what he wanted.
What you drinking, JK? Looks like
What?
fire. You're drinking fire.
Drinking that fire water, by golly.
That's awesome.
That good old Mountain Dew gonna make me another kidney stone if I ain't careful. Because the only thing I had cold in the refrigerator other than beer, and well, I still got work to do. So can't be getting too drunk. But I don't know. I'm really curious about this Jeep because we fixed the cool problem by putting some battery terminals on it. So needless to say, now we got to figure out why it will run without. Did anybody who else saw that video?
I did.
No, but JK, have you been in Tommy's office there?
Tommy's office, the casting couch. yeah. It's my kind of office right there. So I'm still trying to figure out how it ran on one cylinder, or at least with one fuel injector. because it was late at night and I did get a little bit reckless and ripped the whole fuel rail out with it running. And it was only one injector firing.
Purge or the purge lines going straight to the fuel tank. Am I onto something?
I don't know. You might be.
Disconnect that line.
I never even thought about the purge. That might explain, because they said the thing ran good at times and then it didn't run good. So.
Once the canister dries out.
Huh. Because I thought it was, and that's what I was thinking was like fuel puddling something, but I thought there might be like, what I really thought that they done was they sit there and kept messing with it and messing with it and messing with it. Somebody did, and they got fuel puddled up in the intake. But I went through and looked in the intake, and there was no fuel or anything in there. So I was like, it's coming from somewhere. You know, but I don't understand why is it when I killed that one, I could unplug every injector unless I unplug that one, and it stops running. What is it about that one injector? If I leave them all plugged up and then plug that one, it stops running.
Really? If you only plug just the one?
So
try
basically,
pulling the fuel rail up, leaving everything, all the injectors plugged in, and spark plugs and cranking it.
I already done this. We set it on fire last night.
The fire's still going behind him. You can see.
We had a true. I was like, by golly, I'm gonna pull a Paul Danner. I'm gonna set this 4-liter on fire, and that is exactly what we done. So, we actually had a small fire last night because I pulled the injectors out and just said crank it.
Good Lord Jesus, it was a fire.
And it was backfiring. Yeah, it's backfiring and everything. And that's when I realized, yeah, something ain't right with this thing. But I'm going to go get a cam crank on it tomorrow for Brian. So he can make me use a scope.
Perfect.
I've been looking for a way to fix it in HP tuners for like all day. And I haven't found it. So I'm definitely going to have to actually fix it. So, but I just can't get over the fact they had me put a $1,500 PCM in it because the battery terminals were loose. That was a cool one, though. I never thought that.
Yeah.
That middle cool just would not fire no matter what you would do.
All right, gentlemen. I got to let you go and finish working on this BMW with Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to head out
Finish
too.
some other work.
All right, y'all have fun. Stay out of trouble.
Good night.